Open mine eyes that I may see. Glimpses of truth thou hast for me. Place in my hands the wonderful key that shall unclasp and set me free. Silently now I wait for thee, ready, my God, thy will to see. Open mine eyes, illumine me. Spirit divine. As a child, I was, whenever possible, able to live with animals. My parents always felt that a pet was a good thing for me, and it was. I was an only child, so I found that many times we lived out, away from everybody else, and having a pet was ideal. I learned that I could talk to my pet and didn't have to worry about my pet talking back to me. It was an excellent way of verbal communication, but at the same time I also was privileged to experience my pet communicating with me, because communicate they do. What has happened in our world today is terrible. The way that many animals are mistreated. You look at people who have lost sight of self to such an extent that they are doing things for money. They're doing things for power and at the sacrifice of everybody else. If there's anything that we need today in our awakening, is a sense of reverence. A respect for ourselves, as well as all of the kinds. I'm borrowing today, and in my borrowing, please bear with me as I share certain instances. There's a story that I happened to come across about a cat by the name of Sammy. And Sammy was a unique cat indeed. Its owner, or how we tend to put it, lived in a big house and lived right next door to lots of woods. Every morning, Sammy would come back to the house and bring its owner at least one, if not two, field mice. And it was bringing it as a gift, showing its appreciation to an unenlightened, uninformed way of looking at it. You would say, oh, how terrible. But that is unenlightened and uninformed. The person had to move to a small apartment, and Sammy wasn't able to venture out as she used to. And she, of course, had to stay in there until she became accustomed to her place. And then the first night out, the next morning, she came to the door, and she was just talking away, and she was so animated. And her owner looked down, and there were 2 pine cones. Gifting with what she was able to get. And until her dying day, she would bring at least 1, if not 2 pine cones every morning to show her appreciation. What's this about? This is about adaptation. This is about learning to make the best of situations, and how animals can teach us to do so. And if we are bright enough, we are able to see it and take up on it and be grateful and appreciative for the examples that are being lived. We need another and perhaps a wiser, more mythical concept of animals. We patronize them for their incompleteness, for their tragic fate of having taken form so far below ourselves. And therein we err, and greatly err. For the animal shall not be measured by man. In a world older and more complete than ours, they moved finished and complete, gifted with extensions of the senses we have lost or never attain. They live by voices that we shall never hear. They are not brethren, they are not underlings. They are other nations, caught with ourselves in the net of life and time, fellow prisoners in the splendor and the travail of earth. So as a little boy, I got to experience the things that animals bring to us as children. And one of those things that they bring to us is death. In many instances, if it were not for death, we would have no connection with it. And as it is right now, because of the ignorance that is prevailing in our world, there is a distinct pushing away from the experience of death. I can remember that one time my dog was missing, and I was anxious and worried about it, only to have it come home limping, where it had been struck by a moccasin or a rattlesnake and died right there in my arms. Needless to say, I was devastated. And another time, as I was growing older and was getting ready to start driving, you know how important and vital that is, I asked if I could back the car out of the garage, and my parents said, yes, you can, just be careful. And I got into the car, and I started it up, and I backed out, and I felt this thump-thump. Only to pull away and see I had just run over 2 kittens that I had only received like 3 or 4 days earlier. I was beside myself. I was screaming because I just could not comprehend what had just happened. And a voice would say, oh, for God's sakes, it's just a damn dog. Oh, for God's sakes, it's just a kitten. And I'm sure that you've probably heard that voice. You've heard it mentioned. But the fact of the matter is, the heart that learns to say that can be taught, oh, for God's sakes, it's just a nigger. Oh, for God's sakes, it's just a damn Jew. Oh, for God's sakes, it's just a woman. It's just a bum. Put any word in there, and you witness the deadening of the heart connection. There is no reverence alive in that heart, but one that perhaps can be revived, and that's why I speak to you today. And I speak to you from the basis of look and see how we treat our animals. Animals? Could it be they have not lost their profound attunement to the earth as a living being and remain intimately aware of planetary influences? They sense earth changes both locally and on all parts of the globe. Because they perceive holographically, they are keenly aware of the suffering of all other members of their particular species, as well as that of the collective animal kind. As the great cats are driven to extinction in an ever-increasing numbers, is it any wonder that your cat suffers from non-specific anxiety? As the wolf continues to be persecuted throughout the world, is it any wonder that your dog manifests neurotic behavior at times? Let us recognize that if we, as a kind, have a collective unconsciousness, that part of us that is shared across race, gender, and cultures, then perhaps animals also share the psychic burdens of their own animal families. Think about the times that animals have listened to you, have been there for you. In the dark hours of despair, they were there. And then they were there to say, okay, now is time, let's play. To bring you to a place of being so present in the moment, to draw you out of your languoring, to help you to get to a place of once again stepping into and with the rhythm and harmony of life. Then of course there are those special times and those special experiences that stay with you for a lifetime and help you to live with an attending sense of reverence and respect. I want to share with you a story in bringing this to a place of close. It's called The Vigil of the Cemetery Dog. My 17-year-old son was killed in a diving accident. Only a parent who has lost a child can understand the personal devastation. The evening before the accident, I happened to be driving by our local cemetery. Sitting next to the fence was a stray dog. She sat on a small knoll between two trees, seemingly waiting for someone. She looked like a bedraggled red fox. Little did I know that in 3 days later, I would be burying my son on the exact spot where the little dog waited. On the day of my son's funeral service, I saw the little dog again. She was standing a short distance away from where we were gathered at the cemetery. And then the next morning, just before dawn, I went to visit my son's grave for the first time. And sitting beside the mound of flowers at his graveside was the little red dog. As I approached, she rose and stepped back a few feet as if into respect. When I sat on the ground by the grave, she came back and sat beside me, not touching me or asking for attention for herself. She seemed to just be there for me. Together we watched the sunrise, and I felt a slight touch of peace. I arose and she walked with me back to my car, then returned to my son's grave and laid down upon it. The next morning was a repeat of the first. There she was, nestled beside the flowers. As she sat beside me, I ran my hand down along her back. She was slightly wet, as if from the night dew. I asked her, "You been here all night?" She answered with a slight wag of her tail. "What are you? Some kind of a guardian angel?" She turned toward me and looked at me with the eyes that seemed to reach my very soul. I began to cry and tell her of my terrible pain, and she sat and listened. The next morning, there she was. Beginning to think of someone beside myself, I had brought a bowl of food and some water for her. Apparently someone else had noticed the little dog was doing 24-hour duty because there was a bowl of water by the grave. Knowing that my son wasn't alone, that he had this small dog with him, began to give me comfort. I remembered that several years before, my son and a friend had rescued a small red dog that had been shot with an arrow. My son named her Callie, and she stayed on as a beloved pet until an untimely accident took her life. After about a week, I took the cemetery dog home with me. Strangely enough, she was quiet and subdued. I couldn't think of a name for her, and then one day I said, "You know something? You look just like old Callie." It was as if I hit a magic switch. Callie stood up and, wagging her tail furiously, ran over to me and put her paw on my knee. It was as if she had finally come home. Who is this dog who showed me my son's cemetery plot and then did roundabout sentry duty with my son's laid to rest there? Who is this dog who was there to help me through the greatest trauma of my life, who now shares my home and helps me feel the lonely moments? Is there such a thing as reincarnation? And are dogs reincarnated? I don't know. I just know that she came into my life in a very mysterious way. I never thought one way or another about angels or guardians, but now I know. There is such a thing. Let yourself be moved. If you find a resistance occurring within your being, then let that be put aside. We think that we are better than and superior to, when in reality, that's just our stupid egos feeling insecure and trying to get our attention once again. So today I finish this with a poem. The river of horses. I look into the dark pools of the pony's eyes. Her pain has distanced her from me, as if she's looking up from a deep canyon. I wait for the vet to come and press my forehead to her sweet, suffering face. My human tear is the only comfort I can offer. They break loose from clenched eyelids to wet the rough hair of her cheek. From the depths of her pain, I hear a faraway thunder, like white water splashing wildly through a deep cut of rural. What I hear is not water, but resounding hoofbeats, a stream of countless galloping horses sharing the exaltation of their one fluid soul. It is a river of horses, calling the pony to join them, offering her rightful place among them, washing away her pain with their joy. We pull the pony back to the vet's needles in an occluded vein, to the aching calls of the small girl child who loves her beyond the measure of all tears. In her eyes I see the river of horses, yet she forgives us our guilty love, our clumsy attempts to save her life. She stays to teach the child, to trust that what we no longer see still exists, to know a wholeness greater than pain, to understand that sometimes the most loving embrace is an open hand. I stretch my arms to hold the pain beyond my reach. I watch with an ache in my womb as child's soul is made tender and open by a pony's terrible, terrible need to die. The child, guided only by a communion of deep animal knowing, learns to first touch that compassionate life knife to her own breast and helps her friend to cross unseen waters alone. The pony looks back at the child, blesses the living with soft eyes, and goes to take her place in the river of horses, set free through a hole in the little girl's heart. Sometimes we miss the most exquisite experiences of life by trying to avoid pain. Reverence, open mine eyes that I may see glimpses of truth thou hast for me. Thank you.
For more information about the Metaphysical Church of Enlightenment or the Rodin Foundation, please go to our website at www.rodin.org. If you have been inspired by the revelations shared in these podcasts, please donate to the Rodin Foundation's ongoing efforts to help others help themselves at www.rodin.org/donate.